I don't know if you picked up on that. Is like Duncan said something about the senior thing, and he's like, I never heard back. And then you're like, oh yeah, I needed to talk to Moss. Were you ever gonna do that? You know what I mean? It's easy to forget.
Yeah.
You got a million things.
No, you're not wrong.
So
you're not
what
wrong.
should be happening is that you should not be servicing that. That should be, and Maxwell's got too much on a plate. You need someone else, and you're like, okay, they're gonna make this decision on my behalf. You know what I mean? Because how often are you and Moss, like, what are you gonna wait until you and Moss might meet like a week later, days later, and then only to, you know, possibly forget with the other 30 things you probably need to talk to her about?
Yeah, I think the I think the thing that's hard. So obviously we need to approach everything from like a solution oriented aspect, right? Getting I don't know. I like there's people. Moss is upset with me, by the way.
Just grab one of these.
Something completely different. Moss is upset with me because I brought up this issue where she said that I can't remember her exact words, but it was something along the lines of last night where I think she thinks I'm hounding people too hard on the things they're not doing versus praising them for the things that they are doing. And it's like kind of hard. Like Forte is like I did talk to Forte last night. And Forte does want to step it up, but the thing is like Forte's not even really like how do we combat people not doing police work?
I don't think you need to give a shit about that.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a environment that is conducive to encouraging individuals on duty, not to say that is a thing right now, right? Like, okay, do I think so? I'm gonna tell you where I'm coming from first, so this doesn't seem like a random statement. Hayes, Tackleberry, we're gonna leave regardless. Like I told you, I heard them talking shit the last 2 months. I agree when you said that they're probably just waiting to see what happens with Daisy before making a decision. But there are going to be elements of friends that they've got, colleagues that they work with within the LSPD that might have actually been rather happy. But there is a there is a singular culture in Shift 1 that is very leaning towards the side of like your Carmines and Bobbies. They have a place, but I think there is becoming a void for those that want to be more knee deep in police oriented shit. You get what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, 100%.
And so unless you got someone that can fill that role actually, right? And I don't mean throwing someone like some of these people aren't going to fit that role, but it's almost like you need somebody to fill that gap. Can you turn an average officer into a good officer? I think that's the first question you got to ask yourself. Can the LSPD do that? If they can, then I would be less concerned about someone like Forte doing quote-unquote actual police work. Because if he can encourage people to be around and he was willing to help build, and you told the guy, we need these people under you to get good at this, he'd probably do it.
So that's the thing. I told him. I said, look, like I've noticed. I basically everything I said yesterday. I said, look, you know, there's gaps in the LSPD that need to be filled. I need you to figure out what they are, and I need you to step up. And then I also said, look, as far as like reports go and everything, I know you want to work for towards a promotion, but we need people that are actively doing the work as well. So I mean, as far as like reports, traffic stops, all of that, I didn't say it. I didn't put them down in like a negative way. I was just like, look, here's the things like I want to see, but ultimately I think you're right. encouraging people to do police work versus beating them down for not doing police work, or kind of like focuses that it should work on.
Like, what is he not doing?
I guess there's an overall kind of like I think people want to be allergic to paperwork. I mean, I see it with Den. I see it where it's kind of like, I don't know if it's a ping lock.
I personally think he's one of your biggest problems.
Den?
Yeah, I think you and Moss fucked up by making him sergeant, if I'm gonna be honest.
I disagree. Well, why do you say that?
You put one of the most over-aggressive, at the end of the day, whoever that sergeant is, you're pretty much saying, I want this replicated. And then, while I love him to death, you know, I don't want that guy to ever be gone. You put him at a sergeant, you're producing more Dens. His actions become things that those under him are gonna try to emulate, thinking that is what you want. I was actually rather shocked when he was sergeant. Now, is that what he wanted? Sure. But there will come with that consequences that people will be like that and be like, this is the representative of the LSPD. And let's not pretend, unless you're, you know, not knowledgeable about this, but this motherfucker, you give him an opportunity, he's going to stop blasting.
Yeah. But that being said, okay, so with everything that's kind of at this point,
what's going on, Kate?
So I guess what can I do to make Den better is what I think I need to focus on. And I think part of that,
I think you need a counterweight to Den. That's what's missing, right?
Oh fuck, Dan and Ventura are riding together today.
You get what I mean by that counterweight? I'll give you an example from like how I did it in the mayor's office, right? And I've done this in the past too. This isn't like a one-off, hey, it worked this time. It's I had Abilene, right?
Right.
Her counterweight was Tilly. I had Michael. Counterweight was Eve. Right? Like, when I say counterweight, it's like somebody that embodies like the other side of the spectrum, because no single individual is going to be good at the 10 things that you need to be good at to be in the mayor's office or as a cop or as a doctor or whatever, right? You need people fill in those holes.
I need somebody like Stevie as sergeant, not necessarily. I don't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you need the yin to the yang.
Yep. And then equally somebody that is consistently on duty, right?
See, that's the tough thing with Stevie is I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much she's on duty. There's the other issue that we have is one of the reasons I advocated for Den was because how much this motherfucker's around.
Yeah, but that comes with that the consequence I just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at like I personally think what Den, like, okay, Den, I actually told Den this yesterday. He was like, I brought up, I'm like, you know, the whole jurisdiction thing, and now he's like a complete coward. Like, he will, yesterday, before you guys got on duty, I was with Den and Maxwell, and you know what was happening all day? Because there was very little crime, everybody between both departments were fighting to go to scenes. Those scenes, they you know, y'all have priority on that, right? They can go right fuck off. That's one of the benefits of being an LSPD. You don't need to give that up. And I mentioned that to Den. I'm like, man, you guys aren't like, he's like, oh man, I want to go to this. I'm like, isn't that your scene? Like, what the fuck? You're the sergeant.
Well, Moss told him to tone it down.
Okay, but you have to understand, Den is a fucking child. Like, when he got petty, I too witnessed him going extremely overboard with Ventura. Like, they were both going at it. Ventura is worse because that motherfucker will try to get you fired, right? Den just does small shit, right? He's not actively doing. And I wish I had better words. There's like small things, and then Ventura goes like to the next fucking level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Den is on like both the ends of the extreme. Den is now afraid to do anything. And I told him, stop acting like a little bitch. You're doing this also not because you're afraid, but you're being petty the other direction, right? Like, oh, you told me not to do it. I'm not going to do anything. No. Hey, what?
I feel like I just heard someone say something.
No?
Oh, somebody's on ATC right now.
Oh.
Okay, hold on.
So she only told him to tone it down. He turned it off. Yeah, Den is thick. You got to understand that. He gets like offended and then he stops listening and then takes the most extreme interpretation of what is being told to him. Surely you've noticed this by now, right?
I
mean, he admitted I was right. Like, that's exactly what was happening.
It is like Den goes 100% on shit. It's either whatever, but I think Den just has fucking PTSD. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's go back to what we were saying instead of going down the Den thing. You need a counterbalance. That's all it is. Someone that like works alongside Den's energy, but can keep him reeled in, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? You and Daisy ain't always going to be around, and your principles and expectations and guidelines need to be like available at all times, and people being able to do shit on your behalf. But there's also the other reality, Peters. There's not a lot of people in general, right?
No, there's not.
And I think most cops, a lot of them have given up. And be it their transfers or be it this pussy shit or that pussy shit, a lot of them don't actually care. They just mask their lack of care and try to shift the blame onto others.
Yeah, that's, you're not wrong.
You think some of these fucking pussies are actually planning on like patrolling in general? Hell no. Fuck out of here.
I don't know. I mean, we don't. The thing is like, as far as options for sergeants, like, I understand, but like, who do we? So let's say, for example, so at this point, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't even fucking matter. I need to find a counter to Den.
Don't, Peters, I hope you don't take what I'm suggesting and like, you know, you should still think it out. You know what I mean? Like, I could be wrong here. I don't know who your people are.
I mean,
you know?
I might need to be the counter to Den if that's the
that you cannot do, motherfucker. You have too much on your plate to be the ass chief. Peters, don't take this the wrong way, but every time there's a problem, I always hear from you, I gotta be that guy. I gotta be that guy.
Well, I just want to be.
How the fuck are you gonna do a dozen
I
things?
don't know. I just want to be proactive in finding a solution. But I guess now I need to find the solution. Needs to be someone else.
Exactly. Yes. It's okay to tell someone that may not be able to do something, hey, I'd like you to solve this for me, and let me know how it goes in 2 days.
No, Carmine would be bad if I put him at partner.
Oh my God.
I wonder if there's anyone in BCSO I could poach.
You know, I'm starting to think that Peters is kind of like Den in a very similar way. So a lot of calls happening.
Nothing. Like all the 24/7s went off at once. I flew around to them. There was a fight in progress. Drug sale. Pretty quiet Saturday. 3-day weekend. You know, all the crimes on pause.
Yep. I kind of like it that way sometimes.
It's, you know what? I've grown to. I think Saturday. Like I've kind of like I look forward to Saturdays. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, if you